What's up, everybody? Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bits for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple. Hey, 2019 was a good year, a really good year overall for Apple because it felt like Apple was finally listening to us, its actual user base, and giving us what we wanted. Okay, fine, they didn't give us everything, but we're moving forward here, and this is everything Apple needs to do better in 2020. Now, before we get to it, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of classes in design, business, technology, and more. A premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their field so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Now, two of the classes that I really enjoyed were Going Freelance, which is exactly what I'm doing now, and DIY cinematography helped show me ways to improve the quality of my videos. The quality of content and learning on here is really legit stuff from true experts in their field. Now, Skillshare's annual subscription is less than $10 a month and more affordable than other learning platforms, but you can go to this link on screen to get a free 2-month trial. I think you're going to really enjoy it, so check out Skillshare. Tomorrow is for the taking. All right, back to the video for how Apple can be better, and let's start off with the iPhone 11 Pro that not only brought the best overall camera experience with its amazing triple lens, its seamless switching between the lens, the image quality, and its smooth UI, but they went back to the basics and actually made the iPhone thicker and heavier to give it a battery life that normally gets me through a full day before I even have to charge it. Battery life is sexy. Like, put that on a t-shirt. The iPhone 11 Pro is one of my favorite iPhones in a long time. I made fun of how it looked, and it surprised me how they really focused on improving two of the most important things to us. And I've been telling you, right, 2020 is really the iPhone to get, and I still stand by that because it's going to make that next jump in tech for Apple. We've heard all the rumors for it. 5G, a potential 90 to 120 hertz ProMotion display for that buttery smooth screen, an additional time of flight camera for depth sensing and new augmented reality improvements, a possible in-display fingerprint scanner, and an all-new phone design with a metal frame that calls back to the iPhone 4 or 5 design that I just love. And this is all stuff we've heard, and if it does all happen, it'll be exciting, but I'm sorry. The notch is still ugly AF. Like, I don't complain about it throughout the year, just so I could go in on it right now at the end of the year. It looks dated now, and 2020 would be year 4 of the notch if they don't get rid of it. Even if Apple brings in-display fingerprint reader, and that's not guaranteed, they got to do something about the notch. Even make it smaller. Just do something, okay? Now, we've also been hearing a lot about Apple potentially releasing around 5 to 6 new iPhone models in 2020. I know this is a Tim Cook specialty, but call me a simpleton, I'd still like a tighter iPhone lineup with less models, especially if they plan on really releasing these 5 or 6 new ones alongside of keeping models from 2 or 3 years back at lower price points. It just gets to be too much. Now, Apple did a lot of great things with hardware in 2019. The new MacBook Pro finally brought back the keyboard we always wanted that I had always been asking for, with also new cooling to boost its improvements. They did great there. They still couldn't give me that SD card slot, but you know, one can only dream for a basic feature that should be in a Pro machine. Also, the Apple Watch Series 5 is still the best smartwatch on planet Earth, and the Mac Pro showed us that Apple can go big, serving the pros that used to be the heartbeat of their company. All of these huge highlights for 2019. But the biggest thing Apple needs to do next year is get their software right. This was a horrible and pretty embarrassing year for Apple OSs. After a year of fine-tuning in iOS 12, iOS 13 was a disaster out of the gates with 4 updates within the first 5 to 6 weeks of its release. Seriously. And you know what? I'm glad they're addressing the issues. They should be, but that many updates? Come on now. That's just a bad Apple. Ugh. Now, macOS Catalina was the new OS that works great if you're buying new hardware, but creatives and people with legacy 32-bit apps were in for a world of hurt. And yes, look, Apple has been warning us over the years that support for 64-bit apps only was coming, but honestly, how many normal consumers even knew or pay attention to this on the regular? Not only that, it caused some people's machines to brick or continues to ask for permissions and authorizations for others. No software update is perfect. I get it. In my review, I said if your computer is working just fine and it does everything you need it to do, you probably shouldn't upgrade. Now, Apple knows that 2019 was an ugly one for software. I'm not saying it's easy, but it just shouldn't be this bad either. I'm also still waiting for actual Pro apps from Apple to arrive on my iPad Pro, an Apple staple used to be at least supporting their hardware with apps. It's been 4 years and we still haven't seen anything from Apple here. I've pretty much given up on anything happening now. And since we're on the iPad Pro, can Apple finally make an iPad Pro case that has a decent keyboard after they finally brought one to the MacBook Pro? That flat rubber thing they sell is basically one of the worst options out there right now. Okay, on to the other big thing Apple needs to do in 2020. That's to make major strides in the smart home and open up HomeKit, because they are behind and it's embarrassing. Now, in the most recent report from Consumer Intelligence Research Partners, it found that Amazon owns 70% of the US smart speaker market. Google holds 25%, and Apple holds 5%. Just 5% of the market. A year ago, Apple held 6% of the market, so they lost a percentage point of what little they already had. We know the HomePod, it sounds amazing, but it's too expensive for what it is. It's learned a few more things, but it's still extremely limited. The smart home is really one of those new places where consumers are actually investing more than ever with tech. Apple needs to take a page from Amazon here, right? Make it more affordable and put it everywhere. Other than the overpriced HomePod and iPhone, you can't use Siri anywhere else. Apple needs Siri to be everywhere, and they need to introduce a lower-priced HomePod mini type device that can be in multiple rooms. Forget about talking also into your remote and holding a button for your Apple TV. The Apple TV should just have Siri built into the box and hear you. Now, consumers have changed their behavior and turned to Amazon and Google, which work better than Siri. Apple had Siri before any of these companies, and it just shows you how badly that they have fallen behind. So here we go. Apple needs to open up HomeKit to be more compatible with smart home devices. Right now, Apple supports a couple hundred smart home devices. Amazon supports over 20,000. Google supports over 10,000. And Apple, Amazon, Google, and Zigbee just recently announced this new alliance to create a new smart home device standard for all of them to work together. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. So can Apple really, the question is, at least be a relevant player in the smart home space in the future? Absolutely, if they commit to it. They have the ecosystem and the platform. They need to make Siri available everywhere possible and also make their devices cheaper and open up HomeKit. But right now, they are losing. And look, see, I'm not just going to sit here and complain about this stuff. I'm going to offer you all solutions. And Apple, they should be watching this too. Now, you all know how much I love the Apple Watch here and how it fits into my life. Even if I didn't upgrade to the Series 5 from the 4, the always-on display wasn't enough of a game changer for me, and that still holds true. I don't feel like I'm missing a thing. But 2020 is the year that I hope we see a new form factor for the Apple Watch. They kept the same design and the same internals for the Series 5. The processor, everything is basically the same, except that it works with the always-on display and has a compass that no one is talking about. That means that they had a lot more time to focus on the next gen Apple Watch, and I'm hoping at the very least we see an even slimmer design. Or could Apple open up an even higher tier Apple Watch with an Apple Watch Pro, or get crazy and finally give us the round Apple Watch that a lot of people are asking from the starts? I know there is literally like no evidence that this is happening. My dream has always been to finally get FaceTime on an Apple Watch, because I just love that Dick Tracy style watch. Come on now, that's me. But in 2020, I hope we see some new form factor design. And I guess that was really more of a hope instead of how to get better. But who cares? Like, this is my list. All right, so those are just some of the things that I want to see Apple do better in 2020. I didn't hit every single thing because I want you all that are watching to chime in with your own. Like, do you agree with me or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments what Apple can do next year. And also, you know what? I like to know, what are you going to do to be better in 2020 for yourself? See, like, let's bring some positivity to 2020, and I will really read all of them. Well, okay, let's be honest, most of them. But thanks again for Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Remember to go to this link to get 2 free months of online classes from legit experts in their fields. And everybody, if you like this video, thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my videos when they drop. Also, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast where we just dive in deep with all the latest stories each week. We also have special guests. But everybody, thanks so much for watching. Take care and be safe. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.